The rain fell in thin silver streaks outside the glass windows of the luxurious restaurant. Inside, the golden light gleamed off crystal glasses, fine china, and designer suits. And in the middle of that world where everything seemed perfect, walked a man who clearly didn't belong. Ethan Blake, a 29-year-old car mechanic, stood at the entrance, holding a tiny bouquet of daisies, slightly wilted from the drizzle. His hands were rough from years of hard work, his jacket worn, his shoes clean but old. Still, his heart beat with nervous excitement. His best friend, Tom, had convinced him to go on a blind date. "Come on, man," Tom had said. "You've worked too hard for too long. It's time someone saw how good of a man you are." So Ethan came, and now, standing there, surrounded by chandeliers and soft violin music, he felt every ounce of his insecurity whisper, "You don't belong here." But he took a deep breath, looked at the note in his hand, and scanned the tables. "She'll be in a blue dress," it said. Then he saw her. A young woman sat by the window, her blue dress glowing under the soft amber light. Her hair was neatly tied back, and she looked peaceful, though there was a shadow of sadness in her eyes. Ethan approached, clearing his throat nervously. "Hi," he said softly, offering a shy smile. "You must be Anna." The woman blinked, a little confused at first, then smiled politely. "Yes, Anna. Please, have a seat." Ethan relaxed, his nerves melting into awkward excitement. He placed the daisies on the table. "I brought you these. They're not fancy, but they reminded me of sunshine." Her eyes softened. "They're beautiful. Thank you." They talked. Slowly, the initial awkwardness faded. Ethan told her about his job fixing cars, how he loved seeing old engines come back to life. She listened intently, her smile small but genuine. She spoke about books, music, and her love for painting. Her voice was soft, thoughtful. It was only when the waiter came that Ethan noticed something, her wheelchair. Hidden beneath the table, it had blended into the shadows. He didn't say a word, not wanting to make her uncomfortable. The conversation flowed like a gentle stream. Ethan found himself laughing, forgetting the world outside. But then, everything shattered in a heartbeat. A woman in a red dress stormed over to their table, eyes wide. "Excuse me, but who are you?" she asked Ethan, clearly irritated. "You're sitting at my table." Ethan blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" The red-dressed woman turned to the girl in blue. "Clara, is this some kind of joke?" Ethan's stomach dropped. The name, Clara. The woman in blue gave a sad little smile. "It's all right," she whispered. The waiter hurried over, flustered. "Sir, I'm afraid there's been a mistake. Your date is at table 5, near the piano." Ethan felt his face burn. His hands trembled. I'm so sorry," he stammered. "I didn't mean to, I thought." Clara interrupted gently, her tone warm despite the sting in her eyes. "It's okay. Mistakes happen." Ethan stood there frozen, heart aching. He looked at her one last time, and walked away. That night, Ethan sat in his tiny apartment, staring at the untouched daisies he had brought back. Something about Clara wouldn't leave his mind, the way she smiled, the kindness in her voice despite the embarrassment. A few days later, unable to shake the thought, Ethan found himself driving near the same restaurant again. And by fate or chance, he saw her, Clara, outside a small art studio, struggling to lift a canvas into her car. He parked instantly and rushed to help. "Let me," he said. She looked up, startled, then smiled in recognition. "Ethan, right, the man who sits at wrong tables." He laughed nervously. "Guilty as charged." From that moment, something beautiful began. Ethan visited her studio often, sometimes fixing her old wheelchair, sometimes just sitting beside her while she painted. They talked about everything: life, loss, hope. He learned she had been in a car accident 3 years ago, one that took her ability to walk in her mother's life. Her father, a powerful CEO, had buried himself in work ever since. Yet despite her pain, Clara had a light about her, a quiet strength that inspired Ethan. Weeks turned into months. Their friendship deepened. But love, Ethan didn't dare to call it that. How could someone like her, refined, elegant, from another world, ever see something in him? Then one evening, as he helped her close the studio, she asked softly, "Why do you keep coming back, Ethan?" He smiled shyly. "Because I feel alive when I'm around you." She looked at him for a long moment, her eyes glistening. "You make me feel the same." Their bond didn't go unnoticed. One afternoon, when Ethan came to the studio, he found Clara's father waiting for him, Tall, imposing, with eyes like cold steel. I know who you are, he said sharply. A mechanic. I appreciate what you've done for my daughter, but let's not pretend this is anything more. Ethan's jaw tightened. With respect, sir, I care about her. I don't care about your money. The CEO's glare hardened. You'll never fit in her world. Ethan simply nodded. Maybe not, but I'll stay in hers as long as she'll let me. He walked away, but his heart felt heavy. That night, Clara called him, her voice trembling. My father told me what he said to you. It's okay, Ethan said softly. He just wants to protect you. No, she whispered. He just doesn't see what I see. A week later, Clara asked him to meet her at the rehab center. When he arrived, she was standing, holding parallel bars, her legs trembling but upright. Look, she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. I can stand again. Ethan's throat tightened. He rushed to her side, steadying her as she took a single, shaky step. I wanted you to be the first to see, she said. Because you never treated me like I was broken. He couldn't speak. He just held her as she wept. Months passed, and Clara grew stronger, walking short distances with braces. Her father began to see what Ethan saw all along, a love built not on status, but on faith and kindness. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, Ethan took Clara to his workshop, the place where he found his peace. It wasn't fancy, just tools, a radio, and a small table where he had set 2 cups of coffee. I wanted to show you where my dreams live, he said shyly. Clara smiled. And I want to be part of them. He knelt beside her, took her hand, and whispered, Clara, I sat at the wrong table that day, but maybe that's exactly where fate wanted me. She laughed through her tears. Sometimes the wrong table leads to the right heart. And under the soft glow of the workshop lights, they shared their first kiss, 2 broken souls finding wholeness in each other. Narrator's closing words. Life's most beautiful stories often begin with mistakes, the wrong turn, the wrong table, the wrong time. But sometimes, that's exactly how fate leads us to what's right.